Ooh, should have been quicker than that. Man, I was not fast enough on MU, I will admit. I honestly I should not have lost any money on it at all. I hit my 1-to-1, and I should have went to break even. Ugh. But we'll talk about it today on Market Open Trading. Stay tuned. Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Miguel. This is Market Open Trading. Now, let's talk about some of the trades I took this morning. And unfortunately, I'm down $85 this morning. Not a big deal. I'm a little disappointed on how I lost money on MU because I technically should not have really lost any money. I kind of sat there like a deer in the headlights. And I'll explain to you guys what I mean. Typically, I'm going for 2-to-1, if not more. And if as soon as it hits 1-to-1, I put my stop loss at break even. Now, if you'll notice here, I took 500 shares short on MU. MU was gapping down this morning. MU is typically also one of those companies lately that I do not like shorting because that sector has been so strong. But this morning, it got some negative news and it started selling off this morning relatively early. So I was like, okay, I'll give it a shot. There really wasn't too many short candidates that I liked as well. So typically what I like is for stocks to pull back at least a little bit and for them to go green. Now, I will also take an opening range breakdown. So if a stock comes down, it pulls back up to VWAP, and then usually the third candle I get in as it breaks the range of 57.20. I said, okay, well, it at least already pulled back to VWAP. Let me go ahead and set my stop there. It was sitting here bouncing at 57.20. The shares were being bought up, and I knew it was going to break through. So I was like, okay, 500 shares risking 20 cents. Let's go ahead and get in. Unfortunately, I got filled at 57.12, so 8 cents lower than what I wanted. Now, that's very important on where I got filled because of what I'm about to tell you. So all I needed was, in my mind, all I needed was 50, what was it? I needed 50, below 57, and I should have been at break even. But since I got a bad fill, which I noticed later, I actually needed to go down to 56.92 to go to break even. So now it flushes down in this candle, comes down, goes below 57, and it came all the way down to 56.79 just in this candle alone. So I should have been at stop loss break even, but this is a 1-minute candle. So I saw it break 500 shares. I was up 160-ish or so. And as soon as I saw it go over 160 or 120 or so, however much I was risking, typically whenever I see it go over $100, stop loss break even. But I was trying to do the calculations real quick based on my fill. So I knew that it was going to be under 57. And it just flashed down so quick and it got bought right back up. So I never actually put my stop loss at break even. And very next candle came back up. Very next candle after that, I almost got kicked out. I actually ended up putting my stop at the top of this, which was 57.43. And very next candle came up and it kicked me out. Now, I ended up getting kicked out at MU, let's see here, at 57.45. So it wasn't a bad fill on the way back up, but I should have had my stop loss at break even, and I never should have actually have lost any money on MU because it went more than 1-to-1. I was just not fast enough, and I was basically just sitting here quickly trying to think of like what I should put my or if I should put stop loss at break even, or like what is going on. It just happened so quick. That's really what it is about trading the market open. It's just things move really, really, really fast, and if you're not on it, then just too bad. The market's really not going to wait for you. So if you'll notice here, I got filled in MU, and then I also turned around and put in a trade on Facebook. I put my stop loss up here at 57.43, and I turned around and I saw Facebook. Facebook on the it was actually on the short side. So I took it short right here under 192.68. So you'll see I got filled here at 192.56. Right there. So 11 cents, 12 cents under really what I wanted it. But Facebook kind of moves. It's a higher price name, so the spread on it is typically not too bad because it's a thickly traded stock. It's got a 2 billion float, so it's got a lot of shares out. So it's typically not too bad. It's just I ended up getting a bad fill on that, unfortunately. So I got filled 125 shares. My stop was going to be, let's see, 125, probably high a day here, 183.40. So I ended up bringing it all the way down to VWAP, and I noticed that it was sitting there bouncing at VWAP, bounced, and it was starting to curl back up. I decided to get out of it and cut it out at 192.62. I said, this is not really doing what I want it to do, so either be right or be right out, meaning I need to get out of this thing, and I ended up taking a $7 loss on it. During that time, MU, I had it on the other monitor. I saw it also kicked me out. So I was down Facebook, $7, not a big deal. MU, bad fill, and a couple of cents of slippage on the way back up. So I ended up losing $168 on that trade. Now, I've noticed that a lot of the times when it does break through and it comes right back up, it does end up happening to me a lot that I'll just kind of sit there and be like, okay, maybe it'll come back down. Just kind of hoping, which is not a strategy at all. That doesn't really go with what I'm supposed to be doing. It's just sometimes you just can't think fast enough for that to happen. So I was just kind of sitting there hoping and praying that it was going to go back down, and it ended up not doing what I wanted it to do. So very unfortunate on that. I was actually looking into putting, what was it? Hotkeys. So not really, because I wanted to lean away from getting or having to use hotkeys, but I think in an instance like this definitely would have helped to be able to just click a button and put stop loss break even, so I don't have to worry about it and have to, rely on myself to push the button. Sometimes I'm pretty good about pushing the button and getting out of the position, but it's just sometimes it's so fast that you can't even really calculate exactly what is going on, when you need to get out, is this coming back, price and sales, like it's a little too much. So maybe I should just leave it to the computer sometimes to kick me out. Now, the next trade I took was on BMY. Let's see here. BMY. So right here, textbook is basically a textbook trade here on the 1 minute chart, which I actually ended up not catching because it wasn't really gapping down enough, and it didn't really have not a catalyst, but it didn't have enough volume, and it didn't actually show up on my scan. So I didn't catch this initial fall. It would have been great, but I didn't, unfortunately. Now, what I did end up catching was this 5 minute opening range breakdown. So it came down, it went sideways, I triggered under 51. Let's see here, what is this? Triggered under 51.20. I put my stop loss up here at 51.50. So risking about 30 cents. That's why I took 300 shares. And as you can see, it came down immediately down to 51.96. Not really quite enough for me to put my 1-to-1. And right around here, right here in this candle, I put, okay, let's not screw up again. Stop loss break even. And then after that, I just saw it go sideways. I almost got kicked out here a few times, but if you notice, the yellow line here, which is the 9 exponential moving average, which provides a lot of downforce, a lot of, not support, but a resistance, and it's curling down because the sell-off VWAP is also curling down, so it's providing me with a better chance of this working out. So stop loss break even, and my stop was 30 cents away. Now, I just rode it all the way down as far as I could. Let's see here. I got rid of some of BMY at my target at 50.46. I got rid of 200 shares. Then I rode down another 50 to 50.23. And my ultimate target, I wanted to get it as close as I could to the $50 mark. The $50 mark is such a like a magnet for price action. So I figured that it was going to go down to 50, and people were going to either start buying it up, or it was going to bounce and then maybe pull back and then keep going lower. But with such a big resistance, like it's more of a psychological number, really, because I'm sure that there are investors that said, okay, if BMY comes down to 50, I'm going to buy some more shares.
It happens all the time. It's just a psychological number that people typically say, hey, if it comes down to this number, if it comes down to 51, if it comes down to 51.50 or something like that, investors will start stepping into big numbers like that. Same thing with $20, $10, $100, $200, $300, $250, things like that. It's just big psychological numbers where there typically is a lot of support. So I wanted to ride it all the way down there, and as long as it got down below 50.10, I said I'll take the rest of the position off. But as you can tell, I sold some of it off. Ended up $240 on that. I was typically only risking $100. I was only risking, actually I was probably risking a little bit less than that, but I was only risking $100, and I ended up making almost 2.5 times my risk. So $240 on $100 risk, I'll take that all day. So that is the loss on MU, Facebook, and BMY. Now, I saw Fossil setting up on a 5-minute chart. It wasn't really gapping up on a lot of volume. It was barely gapping up. I believe they're a retailer as well. The retail sector this morning has just been on fire. Same thing with like Target. Hold on, let's see here. Look at Target from 73 to 76.50 right now, and it's gone straight up. If you guys will check the retail sector this morning, you guys will notice that all the retail sectors are basically up. Not really quite sure what the news behind it is. Completely irrelevant. But I saw FOSL setting up a pretty good bull flag. It was up on the day, and I saw it right around here. I actually also called it out in the Facebook room. I said Fossil might be setting up a bull flag. We're looking for the 9 to curl up. Next candle to make a new high would be my entry. Stop loss, bottom of the range. So right here at 25.60. It didn't end up doing that, but if you notice, the 9 here started curling back up under it, providing support, and we have VWAP right here at 25.50. Very next candle, I got triggered. FOSL 750 shares. My stop was only 15 cents away, but I believe I caught some slippage here. 750. So I got triggered here. The high of this candle is 25.66, and so I caught a couple cents of slippage on the way up and on the way down. Actually, no, I didn't get any slippage on the way down. So 29.49 was my exit. So, but I ended up overextending myself. I didn't calculate it correctly. Because if you'll see, I actually ended up losing $150. My risk is supposed to be only $100. So right here, I wanted to actually take some of the shares off. I was going to take 250 shares off so I could have a 20-cent risk and be proper, really, on the trade. This is a beautiful setup. It just ended up not working out. Fossil's been going sideways ever since I got into it. And actually now it's starting to come back up a little bit. So yeah, it's coming out of this range here, which is good. The retail sector is still strong. The market is actually going sideways still. Let me show you guys. So the market is actually still going sideways. Technically it's trending down. It's got a gap to close on down here, but it's within a range. It's within this range and this range. It's just kind of going sideways. So it's not really helping or hurting at the moment. Yeah, so that's how I ended up taking that loss. I took the bull flag setup on FOSL. Didn't end up working out. Overextended myself a little bit. Got way too many shares. More shares than I really needed. I needed to get 500 shares instead of 750 shares. Didn't really calculate a little bit of slippage or anything like that, so ended up paying for it. Down on FOSL, MU, and Facebook. Now, there is one thing that is on the list this morning that I could not trade on my broker because my broker does not have any shares for me to buy. Long on MMU, which is kind of weird, but just had to deal with it. Didn't have any shares to trade. It was not a setup on. It was not a setup on the 1 minute. It was actually on the 5 minute. If you'll notice here, opening range breakout to the T. Pulled up, green candle, long range candle, all the way up to 24.80. It hit it and it pulled back to VWAP. Now, the next candle to make a new high and break out of this range would be your entry. So right here at 24.80, I would have gone long. I pushed the button to go long,
and it gave me the error message. It said not available to trade. I was heartbroken at that moment. That is literally a textbook opening range breakout, 3 candle play, whatever you want to call it, and I couldn't trade it. I just could not trade it. I would have made my 2 to 1 on this, and I would have made my day. So I could have been up on it, and just not my day, really. So mistakes I made today. Didn't get out break even on MU. FOSL, overextended myself. Facebook, the Facebook trade was good. I managed it correctly because it just did not do what I expected it to do, so I got out of it. So it bounced here, and I just did not like it bouncing a VWAP. Facebook is one of those stocks that people will come in and buy it whenever it's cheaper because it's such a large name stock, and then people think that it's going to keep going up like Apple, Intel, GE, although GE's been in the crapper for such a long time, Microsoft, and just it's one of those big names that a lot of investors like to buy their shares. So whenever they see it that it's down, they like to scoop it up. If you notice that Facebook is down this morning, here, let me show you guys on the. It sold off this morning a little bit and started off right around open up at 191.75. So it's kind of a hard stock to really to short if there is no there isn't major downsides to it. Like whenever they ended up selling that information to Cambridge Analytica or whatever they were. So it's kind of like it's not as bad as shorting Apple, but Facebook is definitely one of those companies it's a little hard to short. Now, what I wanted to do also is I had a request in the room, the Facebook room. If you guys are not part of it, make sure to check out the description below and make sure to join that. It's free, where I post my watch list for you guys every single day. Somebody mentioned that they wanted to see what the watch list actually ended up doing. So I'm going to go ahead and cover that now. So LOXO was very spready this morning. It was gapping up. I was looking for a long, but if you notice here, it actually looks like a perfect short. I don't like shorting stocks that are gapping up, and I don't like what's it called, or going counter trend basically. So LOXO sold off, came back to VWAP, sold off again. So this is a perfect short setup. I just didn't want to take it because it's gapping up so big. It actually ended up closing the gap. No setup for me on the long side, so I just stayed out of it. IMMU, I just talked about that. I couldn't trade it. No shares available. Momo did not end up setting up on the long side either. There's nothing that I really liked. Opening range is, I could have done it. It's just I don't like taking the opening range on such empty candles. The bodies are not really that good. It's supposed to be a long range candle, a little bit of a pullback, 30 to 50%, and the next candle to make a new high is supposed to be your entry, but I didn't really like this setup. It did end up working out, but typically for me, a lot of the times those don't really end up working out. Now, if you guys look what the candles on Momo look like on the 1 minute, and then what IMMU look like on the 5 minutes. See how these candles are very full? This is typically more of what I like to take on an opening range. So now next one is TTD. TTD did not take it. I think it was very, very spready this morning. So I kind of just threw it to the side and just did not trade it. You'll see that right here. So the candle closed here and it hopped up another 20 cents here, and then it started selling off, and then it came all the way back up. It's just super spready, and I just didn't want to touch it. So it was supposed to be a short this morning. On the 5 minute, it looks okay. I actually thought about taking it here at the 84.38 with a stop up here, or maybe 85 or something. I didn't think it really had this much range for it to move. Boy, was I wrong. But yeah, so I didn't think it had this much range for it to fall all the way down here to 81. And it did. I could have probably even reached my 2 to 1. It's just I was not really trying to trade it with the spread and having such a large stop. Now, I have noticed that I've been wrong on a lot of those where I think it can't make the move, and it ends up actually making the move. So TTD could have taken a short on it right here with a stop at 85, or even 85-40. Didn't really matter. But it actually did end up working out. Could have had 2 or 3 to 1 on this. MU burned me. But MU is, that sector's been really strong too. So MU is trading with a range. Nothing on it right now that I like. The only thing that I did trade was that short, but I got immediately kicked out of it and it got bought up. Facebook, same thing. I took the short on it, bounced at VWAP. Nothing good. And it looks like it's trending higher, but it's so choppy right now that I wouldn't even think about trying to take a trade on it. If you guys see this trend, I mean, it's a clear uptrend, but I don't like to trade those type of stocks whenever they're trending like this. If I'm going to trade something that's trending up, I'm going to look at something like TGT. TGT is a clear uptrend, a little bit of a pullback, a little flat top right here. Could have gotten in over here. A little pullback back to the 9, and it rips back up. But I wasn't paying attention to the retail sector at all. And it wasn't gapping up or down, so obviously it wasn't on my watch list. But this is more of a trend of, or a stock that I would be willing to play on the upside with a little bit better of a trend than what Facebook is currently doing. So go back to Facebook. Facebook 5-minute chart. This is not even comparable. Like TGT is trending nicely. Really good on any sort of long, any sort of pullback would have been fine. It's just trending nicely with the 9 EMA as well. This is just a chop fest, so I'm just going to stay out of it. Not going to mess with it at all. I'm done for the day. Unfortunately, I'm down 85 bucks, but that's not even one of my full risks, so I'm down 0.8 on my actual risk. So not a big deal. Looking to possibly get back into it tomorrow. If I'm even right once tomorrow, I'll be able to cover that and then some. So that's it for the recap today, guys. If you guys are new to the channel, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button where I do recaps every day. Maybe I'm going to get more informational on these recaps since I have been getting a lot of questions, a lot of requests in the room. We're actually almost up to 10,000. We have no spam in the room, which is quite rare for a Facebook group. So our moderators and our admins work very, very hard to ban all those like crypto miners that are just spamming. There's a lot of crap out there. Forex bots, all that stuff. We kick them right out of the room. So definitely check out the room if you guys do have a Facebook, and you guys should be able to benefit from it. But anyways, I will talk to you guys next time. Bye.
Hey guys, thanks for watching my video. If you guys are new to the channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Also, if you have not joined us yet on their Facebook group, make sure to do that. The link will be down in the description below, where I post my watch list for you guys every single day. Lastly, if you guys are curious on how I learn how to trade, I provided you guys with the discount code in the description. It comes with one-on-one mentoring, classes, and buying power, so make sure to take advantage of that. I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye.